We just start voting. It's the 9th of May, Rabbi Furst, Parsha Hashavua, Achrei-Mot-Kedoshim. So yeah, I did actually have a question, which I brought up in the other shir, in Rabbi Moore's shir, and he gave me an answer, but you might have a different perspective. In Kedoshim, it says, oh no, I lost the place. It says, don't have auspicious days. And so my question was, how does that compare to the idea that we say that, Tisha B'Av is not an auspicious time to the 3 weeks. Don't have a court case because it's not an auspicious time. Whereas Adar, we say Adar is a good time.
Right.
Are we not violating this prohibition?
Okay, so let's see. First of all, let me, if you can, just let me focus on the pasuk. You have a reference where the pasuk is?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I had it marked and then I moved the marker, unfortunately.
No problem. Don't worry. Take your time.
Where is it? Let's see. Not finding it, unfortunately.
Remember the phrase in Hebrew, by the way, anyone?
Pardon?
You remember the phrase in Hebrew?
Unfortunately, no. I remember reading it in Hebrew to see what the word was, but here, I got it. I found it. It's 1926.
Okay, one second. Okay, lo sochlu al adam lo nischashu lo so'onenu. Right?
Right. So I guess Seonain is what they translate as lucky times.
Mhm. Right.
But I think Rashi comments on it. And Rashi says something, let's see. No, I don't see a Rashi. I thought I did, but I don't see it. 26. Oh, here, I found it. I found it. Lo sonenu, says Rashi. The word sonenu denotes seasons and hours. The prohibition of our verse applies to a case in which one says a certain day is auspicious. It says Yafeh, Yom Poloni Yafeh, for beginning work. A certain hour is auspicious for embarking on a journey. And it quotes Sanhedrin 65b for more discussion.
1 second. So just as a first response, it doesn't seem to be, according to the way Rashi's expressing it, doesn't to be see including things which are fixed. I mean, if you had a fixed day, like say Friday the 13th, right?
Right,
That may not be included because that's like saying that particular time. It's always like that. It's not something that you're. It's like saying that you shouldn't fly over the Bermuda Triangle. It there's something there's something there. So it could be that there's something there in particular days, right?
right.
But to say that, oh, I figured out this and that and this, and so now, by my whims, I'm saying next Tuesday is not such a good day.
Right.
That could be one. I mean, I mean, this is discussed. I mean, there are things brought down about, you know, shouldn't get married in the last half of the month. Should get married in the first half of the month. Should should get married on Yom Shlishi. People like to get married on Yom Shlishi because it says Ki Tov twice on Yom Shlishi in the Chumash, said if I'm not mistaken, right? Ki
Uh-huh.
Tov twice, so people try if they can to get married on a Yom Shlishi. So the question is, they asked this question: how is that not included in this point? Um, Let me see. Here's what. One second. That's uh, that's how I would approach it in that way to begin with. That what this is referring to is those people that come up on their own without any real basis for saying that these days are good for this, these days are good for that.
Uh-huh. So how would this apply to astrology in the days when astrology was accurate?
So um, so there's a big discussion about that in the even it's brought down in Shulchan Aruch about the astrology. Um,
Does it say it's usher?
the let's see, the Ramchal. I don't think he brings down that it's a forbidden. Um, 1 second. Um, uh, yeah, there's some discussion about what the Um, yeah, there's the discussion that when you have to understand how this applies. Um, let's see here. Yeah, it's pretty well discussed. If students can yeah, the there's a Rambam. According to the Rambam, if a person will be set his behavior, like as it says, starting work on a certain day or something like that, based on astrology, could be that he gets malchus for it. It could be he would get lashed and basted for it. I see merit coming in.
Is that because astrology is no longer accurate? Or would it be even in the days when it was accurate?
Even when it would be accurate. Um, good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Morning,
Good to
Meir.
see you.
Morning, Lou.
Mhm.
I raised a question from Kedoshim, 1926.
Oh, that was the year my mother was born.
Okay.
Actually, my mother was born that year too, 1926.
Oh, wow.
Funny? Yeah.
I, let me get my chumash. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
Let's see. The Rambam is Akom Yud Beis Yud Aleph Tes.
Okay, thank you.
So the question has to do with your prohibition about believing in lucky times
Uh-huh.
and how that works when we say that Tisha B'Av is not a lucky time.
Uh-huh.
Um, right. That because again, I would say the same difference with by using the astrology. It's based on their calculations, things are going to be such and such, right? So I think that's the that's the primary concern here. And we're making calculations, and based on our calculations, whether they're factual calculations, there's somewhat calculations, there's spurious calculations, there's superstitions, but it's all based on our calculations. The when we say Mishnikas Adam Marba Basimcha, so it's not a calculation. No. It's an understanding that we have based on the events which have occurred previously. It's not like a calculation that one day it's going to be like this, another day it's going to be like that. When we say, for example, it's auspicious to get married in the beginning of the month, right? So that's going for all months. That
Yeah.
you say through our understanding, the beginning of the month is more auspicious than the end of the month. So when we make a calculation, however, you're relying on your own perceptions. Will be astrology. There'll be something else that you're using to determine the auspiciousness of the day. I think that would be the primary difference.
Uh-huh.
How did Rabbi Moore approach the question?
He said, he made a distinction between the individual and the group, something that applies to the Klal Yisrael, as opposed to an individual saying, "For me, this is good or bad," and also between a person versus Hashem. That Hashem says the 3 weeks are not auspicious. So it's not we're not calculating that. We're not figuring that out. Is that what you remember, Mayor?
Yeah, something like that, right.
Okay, good. That sounds reasonable to me.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Good. Okay. If I see anything else on the subject, I'll try and remember to mention it to you. Okay. All right. Any other points to mention?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
So, if you like, um, the, here's Pasuk here. I'll tell you where it begins. Um, If you look at in Perek Yud Ches, Pasuk Lamed, not mistaken.
Yud Ches Lamed.
Yes.
Let's see. You shall safeguard my charge that these abominable traditions that were done before you not be done, and not make yourselves impure through them. I am Hashem your God.
This is like the summary of many of the psukim beforehand. Right? But many, if you look this, I mean, this is Pasuk Lamed of a chapter which began with all the various different things a person should stay away from. This is the summation and the final mentioning of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us here. Take a look at the Rashi here.
You shall safeguard my charge to enjoin the court regarding this, and not make yourselves impure through them. I am Hashem, your God. But if you make yourselves impure, I am not your God, and you become unfit to be my followers. For what benefit do I have from you when you deserve annihilation? This is why it says, I am Hashem, your God.
Well, needs a lot of work, this Rashi here. First Rashi, Shmarti Mishmarti. This is a directive to the Basin over this. I mean, it's not something personal. If you look at all the things that are mentioned above, all the different rayas, so a person might think, well, two consenting adults, this is what the secular world says, two consenting adults, so what's the problem? No. You see, the Torah is directly concerned with the moral behavior of each individual. It's not a personal thing. It's something which the Beis Din is assigned to enforce. Unfortunately, we live in a society, a culture, a world which the secular courts are one of the main perpetrators of this corruption that's taking place. That it's the secular courts which are sanctioning all these various different things which are very serious transgressions for us. And that brings us to the next Rashi. That how many, let's try and break this Rashi down into its component parts. How many parts do we see in this Rashi?
I'd say two.
Okay.
One is concerning the court, and the other is concerning our relationship with Hashem.
Good. Now, even within this second part, our relationship with Hashem, Ta'im titmo, if you become defiled, any Elohechem. This is a tremendous tremendous statement here.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. I kind of shuddered a little bit when I read it.
Huh. Now it could be um, maybe to water the Rashi down a little bit. Um, that it could be that it's a statement of, meaning, if you, it could be maybe we would want to maybe interpret Rashi in the following way. I don't know if it's true. Um, if you're going to be Tamea, going to be corrupt like this, so Hashem is saying this. This obviously indicates that I'm not your God. You're not keeping yourselves pure in the way I've commanded you to keep yourself pure. So your behavior is belying your loyalty to me. That it shows that you're not, in fact, really loyal to me.
Hmm.
So I'm just wondering if you can water the Rashi down. It says, any Elokeichem, I'm not your God. It could be that it's not that Hashem is casting us off, right? But maybe it's simply saying, look at the facts. If you're becoming so corrupt with all these things, it's obvious that you're not keeping to my directives, and obviously then I'm not your God.
If Hashem is not our God, then it doesn't seem appropriate that he's punishing us. If he says, I'm not your God, it means I have nothing to do with you. I'm not going to reward you. I'm not going to punish you.
It could be. Let's look at the next part. Tem nifsolim ma'acharai. What does that mean? How do they explain that?
You become unfit to be my followers.
Ah, very good. Yeah, it's not that Hashem is casting us off, but we, through our behavior, are making ourselves unfit to follow after Hashem.
What does it mean when it says Amy Elokeichem?
B, that
Yeah, is that what it said? What? Okay, and that's one, and then I took Chevy.
Baruch is
Right. Okay.
saying that
Okay, so then Chevy,
Look.
put her to school, because she was running very late.
you
Um,
have to be on a level.
and she
You have
had
to be on a level to be considered. Let's put it this way. You have to be on a level to be on,
She said, wait for me, I'll get this real
you have
fast.
to be on a level to be considered
Then when she
that
saw
you are
me, I was walking with the baby down on the steps.
my loyal subjects and I am your God. You have to be on a level for that.
I'm not gonna leave you on that busy street by yourself. So I crossed her and then she went up from there, but I assumed that you wanted me to cross, you wanted me to help crossing the street. I think she.
Okay, but I don't see how that relates to the issue of punishment.
Well, let's see. Where do we see the punishment?
Trying to get ready to go through it and. Yeah, oh, he can take them if you want to finish it. Actually, he was very helpful. I think we couldn't something with the funding.
You'll continue in the Rashi, you'll see. Continue the Rashi.
That, and I talked, and I wanted to voice something.
Well, it says, what benefit do I have from you when you deserve to be annihilated?
Okay, two things here. Mahana, what benefit yesh li behem? What benefits do I have from you? Atem mechayrim clear.
I don't want to ruin my beautiful picture yet.
Now, these are two in each of them in themselves
Play with that, you
are
know.
difficult statements.
Okay, let's put this phone in here, and here's what I'm doing.
How we understand that ma yesh love lechem. This statement, this Rashi seems to be based on a Yalkut Shmoni. That's number one, a Medrash. So see the let's start let's analyze it as follows. So Rashi says, Eini Elokeichem. So that expression is Lashon Elokim. Lashon Elokim is Midas Adin, right? That the aspect of the Kadosh Baruch Hu's dealing with the physical universe for the benefit of Klal Yisrael. Elokim, right, is the expression used to reflect the Kadosh Baruch Hu's intervention in the physical world for the benefit of Klal Yisrael, because that's Lashon Elokim, it is a din, right?
Right.
So we see from if we are not going to be on that level of purity, so that lack of purity causes a rift in the relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. Once there is no more relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael, so what we call the Siyata Deshmaya, the divine intervention of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the benefit of Klal Yisrael, is now removed, and we, so to speak, are left to the elements.
I'm sorry, I missed a word. You said it's now something.
The once we've now become so defiled, and we've lost our kedusha, we've lost our purity, so that creates a rift in the relationship between Kadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael, and then therefore we're going to be left to the mercy of the elements. We discussed this a little bit before Pesach, when when the Navi describes the situation of Klal Yisrael, a sheep surrounded by 70 wolves. So the picture that the Navi is painting with his prophecy, that the nature of the wolf is to prey upon the sheep. Right? A sheep, basically a domestic animal, somewhat, for the most part, helpless, without the benefit of the flock, and also a shepherd in general. The sheep is going to be at the mercy of the hungry wolves. So, if the sheep is pure and maintains, therefore, a relationship with the shepherd, meaning a Kadosh Baruch Hu, the shepherd will protect the sheep from the wolves. But if the sheep doesn't retain its purity, so then the shepherd withdraws his protection from the sheep, and now the sheep's at the mercy of the wolves, which, as you know, will have no mercy. I think that's borne out from this Rashi here, that it's not necessarily a punishment. Now but it's more or less a a consequence. It's a consequence. The lack of purity that we have is going to cause, as I say, that rift between Klal Yisrael and the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and then we'll simply be left to the elements. The sheep will be left to the merciful claws of the wolves and the merciful fangs of the wolves. So it's not necessarily a punishment. That's what was occurring for at least a good 100 years before the Holocaust. Klal Yisrael, to a large degree, lost its kedusha, therefore lost its protection from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, from the rest of the nations, and then finally, when nothing else could be done, so the Holocaust began, which is reflected in this sequence of events that Rashi delineates in this Rashi here. So that that's the way to realize what our obligations are, and how Kadosh Baruch Hu is very, very interested in maintaining his relationship with Klal Yisrael. But we have to be on a level, that we can benefit from that relationship. All right, so that's what you see from this Rashi here. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's about our time. And we'll, I guess, see you both Yom Rishon.
Yom Rishon.
Thank you, Rabbi. Have a good Shabbos.
Have a good Shabbos, Rabbi Furst.
Thank you, Mayor, for joining us. Thank you, Lou. Hope to both see you after Shabbos. Enjoy your Shabbos, Mitzvah Shem.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Hashem.